So, day 3 of isolation. The reason I'm having to isolate is because I went home for Christmas. I know you're thinking, bit rough having to isolate for 2 weeks just because I went home to see my family and friends, but because I'm in a home slash hospital, pretty much full of vulnerable people of all ages, so a lot of measures have to be put in place to prevent the hopeful spread of obviously the big old virus. The problem is I still need to isolate, and it's for 2 weeks. So I'm on day 3. The first day when I came back from my sister's, which was amazing, I'll mention that in a wee minute, but the first day I came back was Boxing Day. I watched a quick game of football and then slept for the whole day. I was going to do a vlog or a video to start off the 2 week isolation period in my room, because firstly it'll take up some time doing these videos. I'm no clue yet how to edit, how to cut, do all this stuff, so I still need to learn that, so that'll take up some time. And another reason is to show you guys what it's actually like in a home or a hospital. I'm sure you can imagine it's not great. There's not a lot of, well, there's no visitors at the minute actually. But even when there was visitors, there wasn't a lot. I could only get 30 minutes a week, and it was up to like one household maybe, or two households, up to like 6 people. So 30 minutes a week reduced down to 0. It's been grim. It's been like that for a few months. For them that doesn't know, I'm in Erskine Hospital based in Bishopton, which is an absolute godsend of a place. It's been great for me. It's especially through the summer when I was able to sit in the gardens and stuff, and it was quite peaceful and very tranquil. A good place to get your bearings and relax and chill, and the staff are second to none, every one of them, from the ground up. But have looked after me with no expense spared, so it's been great. However, government guidelines state or suggest whatever that I have to isolate, which is it's a bit of a controversial subject, because staff are coming in and out, and contractors in and out every single day. People coming and going, and so it's quite difficult to accept. Like, I go out for one day to see my family for Christmas, spend the night at my sister's, and then I get up the next day and I come back and I have to isolate for 2 weeks. So that's literally not leaving my room. Bad enough isolating in a full building with no visitors, just residents and staff, right down to, I'll only see a few people a day for lunch, etc., and med rounds and stuff. So it's quite tough. It's making me think, right, so what can I do? Do you know what? Like, the only times I've left Erskine over the last 4 or 5 months, maybe even 6 months, is for trips to the hospital, and not good trips. The last one was for a possible sepsis scare. The one before that was for x-rays because of the pain I was having in my shoulders and neck. So went for neck flex and extension X-rays, and then one before that I was a good one. It was I say good. I'd done a good job of it. What I mean. I was in the RAH for 5 days. It was a wee bit touch and go. It was first of all, it began just a small UTI. Began like that, and then because of my really low immune system after my injury, that's one of the side effect, one of the things that happen, if you like. So I was in hospital for 5 days, and when you're in hospital for 5 days, the last thing you want to do is come back. You know, you've had all sorts of antibiotics pumped through your system, through your veins. It's almost like bleach getting fired through your veins. It was 5 days of, you know, I've never experienced anything like it, put it that way. And the last thing you want to do is come back to the place where you want to feel comfortable and relaxed, and then you have to isolate. So it's obviously everyone's finding this time tough, but I just wanted to, I don't know, for anyone that's interested in what it's really like in care homes, and how people are, not being able to see family, friends, things like that. So it is really, really tough. So I've this is like I said, it's my 3rd day, and I thought, do you know what? I've got my GoPro here on my little phone holder. I'm not really one for videos. Don't get me wrong. I've not non-stop FaceTimes with my wee mum. As soon as she realised she could do face calls, it was like, I get one a day. Love you, mum. But the FaceTimes come in thick and fast from family. So I'm not a complete stranger to looking at a camera. However, this is a bit strange because I'm looking at a camera that nobody at the minute is seeing until you post it, and then you wait for all the absolute slating you get from your friends for stuttering or slabbering a lot of nonsense. So I'm trying very hard to keep it together. This is me starting to I've just jinxed it, probably going to ruin the whole thing now. But anyway, so yeah, so this is my room. You maybe can't see it from that angle, but that's a shame because I can't move it. So my room that's obviously the back wall. You might be able to see my bed there, where all the magic doesn't happen. I'm weirdly doing this backwards. That's out in the corridor. If you can see that, that's where all my other wee residents are. Obviously over there's just the corner of my room where everything gets dumped. The ensuite's alright, actually. Can you see that? Well, I'm asking. So that's the ensuite. You see my beautiful big commode, where I get the pleasure of sitting in that every morning, gathering my thoughts. And then my setup is a TV, my computer, my view, beautiful view of maybe you can or can't see it, but I've got a huge horse, obviously fake, and I just look at its arse every day. So I've got a horse's arse as my view, and so I'm just so that's it. I get to spin. I spin in my room, and then I'm bored again, and I always end up coming back to my computer to do a number of things, fat around, mostly watching YouTube videos. But this thing on my face, for anyone that's interested, is a glass house. So it's glass mouse without the M. and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a pair of glasses, very uncomfortable glasses at times, and it controls my mouse cursor. The biter, the blue piece, is the left mouse click. So I never realised this, but a couple of times this thing breaks. In fact, it's not really working at the minute, but I feel almost paralysed again. It's like, you take this away, it's the strangest and most uncomfortablest psychological feeling, where you just like feel lost when I can't do anything, because ultimately everything is on my computer now. Like, I've got even WhatsApp, so I can do voice notes. So I barely look at my phone actually. Facebook for Facebook Messenger for like face calls and stuff. All my emails and movies, and the DJing. I've been doing a little bit of mixing. Won't call it DJing because it's far from it. I've just been learning or teaching myself how to mix. So from a few friends, I've been giving me some pointers, some tips, and I've also been looking over YouTube. But generally, it's one of these software things where you can just fling some music together and just go with it, and just learn as you mix, I suppose. Learning the filters, the effects and stuff. So it's quite good. I'm actually really enjoying it. I've also got college, which I should probably be doing more of college, as opposed to the DJing. But it's all quite linked. So I'm doing a computer science degree. I was full time, but that felt like a steam train just slapping me in the side of the head. So I reduced it to part time, which is still quite testing. Not the only reason, but one of the main reasons is because I don't have someone here to do like the scribing, or to chop and change through some websites, or put in URLs, or all that good stuff. So it's quite a time consuming course, and obviously without using my hands it's difficult for me. So I found myself kind of lagging in the course, and it's found it a wee bit difficult to catch up, because I wasn't listening properly while I was trying to search for websites or punch in coding, because essentially I'm going to be learning how to do software development and coding, but I'm obviously starting from the ground up. There is still a great deal of coding, and like a lot of typing. So it's pretty difficult, but reducing it to part-time did help, because I've cut out a couple of classes for the first year, or the first block. So instead of doing 5 units in block 1, I'm now down to 2 units, which I've finished, and I'll be starting a fresh 2 units next year, which isn't too far away, obviously. Anyway, back to being isolated and why I isolated. So I went home for Christmas, went to my sister's, and big shout out to my sister Alicia. What an amazing dinner she cooked for me. What an amazing day and night and morning, getting up. Like, everybody that was there was great. Like, it was different, obviously, and my mum and my sister were a little bit worried that things weren't going to go to plan, i.e. maybe I would have got a skin problem, or I would have fell, or God knows what. And I suppose the not knowing how things were going to work either was quite anxious was making me quite anxious. So unfortunately, as much as I had an amazing time and it was great seeing family, there was this dark cloud of anxiousness hanging over me, wondering how difficult it was going to be to get me out my wheelchair into a sofa, and then off the sofa and into a bed, and then off the bed and into a wheelchair. And it doesn't sound that difficult, but when you've no hoist. So I had a sling. So the hoists, I've not got round to getting a portable one. So it was difficult. I had to get Brian big shout out to my buddy Brian and his old man Brian. Like, had to get them two out of their bed on Boxing Day. My sister's neighbour Mandy, hiya Mandy, as well. Like, you know, and then the night before on Christmas, Charlotte's Joseph and hi Joe, hi Charlotte. Better not start saying shout outs to everybody. I'll not stop, but it was, you know, it was time consuming and it was tricky and it was you know, it was worrying because um, it's just, you know, I'm about 90 kilograms and I've got big gangly legs and they were just getting in the way. Anyway, it was still absolutely amazing, but it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for my good friend David. David runs an organisation, a charity called Fairs for Free, which have helped me endless times in the past, all year, getting me from hospital appointments, doctor appointments. The fact that they do all these things, you know, it's a charity, of course, and it's a free taxi service, but they're great guys. So there's David, there's also another David, and then there's John, who, the three of them together, they're not always together at the same time, but it doesn't matter who you get to take you anywhere, they'll bend over backwards for you, and, you know, psychologically they're there for you if you need a chat. And they're always bringing dogs, which is, yeah, dogs are absolutely amazing when you're feeling down or going to a doctor appointment or a bit anxious. Or so Fairs for Free, huge shout out, huge thank you for collecting me Christmas morning, getting me to my sister's safe and sound, and recollecting me again to bring me back to Erskine on Boxing Day. It was pretty much a 24 hour journey, because I was picked up at 11 and I was picked up the following morning at 11 and everything went absolutely swimmingly. So thanks Fairs for Free, thanks David, thanks guys, I appreciate it. You know, just off the phone to David actually, we were just chatting about how, you know,